there's a fear that, it's true when people say surveying is an art, right? And you're right, people are very skilled and highly qualified in order to call themselves a chartered surveyor. And there's a perception in the broader market that actually, by adopting technology, certainly from a GoReport perspective, you're in some way diminishing or tarnishing that, in the sense that, you're automating or you're digitizing some of those lower value tasks. But, the essence of GoReport is to make sure that you spend less time on those low value tasks and actually you spend more time doing the things that are valuable to your customer, be that adding advice, be that having the conversation with them to explain how they should use the data and how they should use the insight. And it's almost the reverse. It should enable people to be doing their job better and doing the stuff that they love in surveying more, in essence. I was curious, what else do you come across when people say, look, we feel like we should adopt tech, we've got inefficiencies, we need consistency, but they're still on the fence? What's keeping them there?
I think they need to truly understand what they're buying.
Okay.
They need to understand, what is this going to fix on the fundamental level? So we talk about efficiencies. All right, what's inefficient then? Let's diagnose what's inefficient. For your case, you're walking around with a bit of paper and you have to write up on Excel and it's all fragmented. For us, a good example is doing cost reports. I spend half a day doing a cost report every month. I do 10 of them. Okay, how long does it take? Well, it takes us 4 hours or 5 hours. And then we can start getting into the detail. Then we can show with the solution what we're doing. So this is how we take a cost report from taking 4 hours to 20 minutes. And we will diagnose exactly what that issue is and how we can solve it. So they know what they're buying is going to solve the issue, the business issue, which is an important part of it, what they set out to solve. But that's just the first part of it. So we can do the demo, all the testimonials, all the good stuff, right?
Bought into the vision.
Yeah, the vision's there. But I would always recommend is that you start small and then scale up. So I would always recommend to our clients is don't jump the cut, don't buy 100 licenses, just buy a little subset. You're saying that your cost report's taking 5 hours. We want to trim that down. Okay, well, over 3 months, we're going to get the before and after picture. So we've got a figure we put in at the top and a figure that comes out the bottom of your efficiency savings. So if you're charging £200 an hour, you save 4 hours. I'm not going to do the maths on camera. But there you go, right? So that is what we're trying to get to, a formula. At the end of that, then we could go, well, we know if we put this much in at the top, we get X amount in at the bottom. So now we can start rolling it out. So that is the advice that I would give. I think it's a good way to do it because you're fully understanding how it's working then.
Is that people are relatively daunted by the scale of the change? Is that you've talked about breaking it down into bite-sized chunks, right, and proving the value? It's something that we see at GoReport quite a lot. People get fixated on the, oh Christ, if I were to roll this out across, my team of 200, that would be really, it's quite a big change. But I think your approach to going, right, well, let's test it here collaboratively, right? We can show you how we work, we show you how we support you through that process, and then let's then proliferate from there. And I think from a GoReport perspective, it's a method we use in terms of that implementation, finding the pockets in the organization who are potentially more technologically enabled, building them into real champions, and making sure that not only have you got our support, you've got a hotline that you can call and get support as and when you need, but also you've got advocates within the business who are champions, who are there to support other people who might take a little bit more time to pick up the solution. Yeah,
and I think what feeds into this, Louis, and I'm sure you've done this with hundreds of clients, and so have we. It's, we've got a recipe for success. It's not like it's the first time we've done this. So we will guide customers through after that 3 months, and you want to go to 200 people. Then we've done that before. We're going to show you exactly how that works and exactly the best way to do that with our support. So that is monthly meetings, making sure key targets are hit, setting those goals that you want to achieve. It's not like, and you're not going to bash other softwares that were 10 years ago, but it used to be, right, this is your yearly license. Yeah, there you go. Buy 100 licenses, see you in a year for your renewal. I think that is dead.
I don't think that works with really transformative software as well. No. You can talk about kind of low touch, and I don't think either of us fall into this space, right? Consumer stuff that you can maybe watch a video or you pick it up intuitively. It's not to say either of our products aren't intuitive, but it is doing a fundamental transformation of a process which people have been doing for years. And actually, there's something that we've certainly learned over our time in the space is there are varying requirements. Yes, we've got plans which kind of can that lay out what an implementation plan would look like, but then working really closely with you to go, okay, actually, how much support do people need, and how many training sessions, and does it need to be in person, and do we need to go out on site with various different people, and almost kind of tiering your employees to go, these guys are really going to struggle. These guys, I imagine, will pick it up, and then building a plan to support that's really important from our side. It's interesting you touched on ROI and cost there as well. I think with software technology, software and software adoption, inevitably cost is something that's discussed. But quantifying that opportunity cost is quite interesting as well. You sounded like you have a really interesting way of doing that. I don't know whether you can bring that to life with example customers that you've done the kind of tests with and then rolled it out further.
Yeah, so we, like I said earlier, we always encourage evaluation periods, we call them. And that's before and after pictures. So if you've come and said, we want to be more efficient, we want more consistency, we lay those out to make sure those goals are hit at the end of the 3 months. And, we're going to break those key elements down. So another great example is chasing actions from meeting minutes. That was an annoyance of mine all the time. You're not a babysitter. If you can automate that process, so you do a set of meeting minutes, you get an action tracker, all of the actions in the action tracker, send an automated notification for an update. All of a sudden, the surveyor's not sitting there chasing up actions from 100 different people because he's got 5
no
projects
idea whether they've been done or not.
Exactly,
You're
right?
wasted
No visibility.
Done. Yeah,
all of that good stuff. So and that's what we're aiming for. Is it better or is it not better? And that's key as well. Is we're not going to tell you it's going to be better. We're just going to show you in the evaluation period what will we discover, and then if you don't like it after 3 months, you can just leave. Carry on with the way that you're doing it. It's not a lock-in. It's up to us to prove the value. And this is what I said right at the start. It's up to us to prove value to the consultancies that we're actually providing key business goals that are getting completed. And that's the key to it, isn't it?